now. Let's discuss what this package means for the euro with Adam Gilmour, Asia Pac co-head of Forex and derivative sales at Citigroup. He joins us today here in Singapore. So the euro seems to be rebounding. It rose as much as 1%, but currently up by about 0.4 to 1%, giving up earlier gains. How do you read the movement of the euro this morning?
Well, I think it's a little bit disappointing. You know, it's a very big package that's come out. You know, the euro's had considerable selling interest in the last week. When the number came out, or when the announcement came out, we were up near 129, and since then we've drifted down again. So I'm very surprised we haven't seen a bigger spike. That's not really a good sign.
So it means more declines for the euro if such a package has failed to boost the currency in a huge way.
Well, I think it's a little bit like what we saw in the US during the crisis. You know, when there's a large amount of money that comes into the system in terms of a rescue package, the market interprets that two ways. One of them is that it's a very big problem. You know, and 900 billion euros or dollars is a very big problem to fix. And so I think that'll continue to keep the euro weak. You know, in the months ahead.
What will it take for a reversal in the strength of the euro?
I think time. I think it's going to have time. You know, currencies are always playing off against each other. I think the next year or so, you'll see the US come out of this quicker than the European zone. We'll probably test down the 115, 120, and as Europe recovers, that's when the euro will recover.
Okay, your take on the best plays, the best ways to play the euro. What crosses should we be looking at?
Well, we're still very bullish on all the Asian currencies, or almost all of them, and I think a good way to play them, especially in the current environment, you know, is to say long the Indian rupee, long the Korean won against the euro and the pound. That should be quite profitable in the next 3 months.
And talking about the pound, I mean, are there still concerns weighing on the currency?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, even if, you know, there's a coalition government formed and, you know, I just saw a headline just now that they're very concentrated on reducing the deficit, it's still a big problem they have to fix. And, you know, one of the best ways to reduce the deficit is to let the currency fall.
What are you looking out for? What signs? What's key for the pound?
Well, I think, you know, the next couple of weeks, the outcome of you know, what kind of government will be formed will put some stability back into the market. But, you know, in the coming months, I think cable can still trade lower.
You said earlier that you're pretty much upbeat about Asian currencies, the one in particular. Why is that?
Well, we're just seeing you know, a very heavy rebound in the Korean economy. Very much of it's export-led, and you know, exporters have always been a major part of the Korean economy. They're all dollar sellers. You know, the pressure is going to continue.
Adam, at this point in time, let's take a viewer question. Jason, he wants to know. He says that about a year ago they say that sterling was undervalued. Is it still the case today? And which will perform better for the next few months, sterling or the euro?
I think actually sterling should perform better than the euro, but it'll be a relative game. I think, you know, sterling could probably trade down about 140, 135. But, you know, if I wanted to trade euro sterling, I'd be a seller of euro sterling.
Okay, just to pick up where we left off on Asian currencies, you talked about being optimistic about the rupee as well.
Yeah, I mean, the rupee has got a little bit more risk in it at the moment, but I think, you know, given that the Europeans have come out with a package and that stabilises things, you know, in the short term at least, you know, we should see the strength come back into the Indonesian currency.
But isn't there concern about the finance minister who's gone to join the World Bank? I mean, she represented stability in policies in the country.
To a point, but I mean, there's always turnover in governments, and I think there's plenty of smart people down in Indonesia. I've met quite a few of them myself, so I wouldn't be that worried about that.
So as far as you're concerned, since you've met a lot of people, who do you see as a potential replacement for Sri Mulyani Indrawati?
To be honest, I wouldn't want to speculate on that. I think the commodity currencies are going to stay strong. They've been sold off in this risk move, but I think buy them on dips, they're going to go back up.
Okay, Adam Gilmour, Citibank, thank you so much for that. Let's do it.